Welcome to the first ever episode of the webcast All Sports One Web, the weekly sports channel where every single Wednesday we are talking Premier League. Today's episode is all about the upcoming season and our predictions. I'm Adam. That's Doug. Let's go! All right. Doug, welcome to the first ever episode. How are we doing today?
We're doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great. So happy to have you on our first episode. So today we are going to be doing transfers and predictions all about the Premier League today. So we're going to start off with your team, the Tottenham Hotspurs, and their transfers for the summer. So 6 signings coming in. Antonio Conte for his first full season with Spurs. What are your thoughts overall on their transfers?
My thoughts are I'm very excited.
Yeah.
The past few years, Tottenham hasn't brought in barely any signings. So to hear any signings is good news as a Tottenham fan. But I think we've brought in some really quality players. And I think we've gotten rid of some players that weren't doing what they needed to do or what we expected them to do. So I think we've got what we needed. Dele Alli and Steven Bergwijn, But yeah, I think we brought in some really big signings and we filled a lot of the holes that we needed to fill.
Yeah, see, I'm most interested about Richarlison, to be totally honest with you. Finally getting his shot at a top 6 team after being linked with a couple of us. And I don't think he'll start the season. And so then 2, it's like, how can he earn his place, especially with the World Cup in November, wanting to earn his place to attempt to crack that Brazil squad. And I think if he can earn his place, he can be good, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of him. You think he's gonna eventually crack the starting 11?
I don't think he's gonna make the starting 11. I think that you're not going to kick Son out of his spot. You're not going to kick Kane out of his spot. And Kulusevski played really well last season. So I don't think he makes it in the team. And I think Conte is trying to go to an attacking midfielder. He wants a number 10 with 2 up front, like he had at Inter. So I don't think he makes it in that team. But we have 5 subs now, so we have to keep that in mind.
Yeah,
so he will play, but he will not start.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts on the 5 subs rule now?
I love 5 subs.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
I've been back and forth on this because, on surface level, I feel like this is obviously going to help when, teams like City can bring on, Alvarez and, Bernardo Silva or Calvin Phillips or Rodri or Gundogan or, the list goes on and on and on, whoever's not going to be, starting for them. And in the 70th minute when everyone's tired. But then as I started thinking about it more, like, I feel like this could help some of the lower teams that are playing once a week and can just sell out every week, use the 5 subs and just go full on energy to try and keep up. So I'm really interested to see how they get on. But let's switch over to the team I'm most interested about this upcoming season, and that's actually Manchester United. New manager. Is Ronaldo staying? Are they going to ever sign Frankie de Jong? I don't know what's happening with them. What are your thoughts overall on their transfer window so far?
They've been pretty abysmal. And I know Manchester United fans are not going to like what's been going on. They haven't signed anybody of really any value. I don't know anything about Lisandro Martinez, but he's not Frankie de Jong, and they can't seem to get him across the line. And now Chelsea is going to steal him from him.
Yeah, so the hijack, the word of the summer so far. Yeah, that would be. I don't know. For me, I mean, Frankie de Jong, 85 million. That's a steal in my opinion. Quality player. Obviously not wanted in Barcelona, but I would prefer to hold out for Declan Rice personally.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
No,
that's a tough debate. But
yeah,
who do
Prem
you
proven.
play? Who do you play in that? Who do you play
Yeah,
with
we'll
him?
see. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, that's the thing, you know. So I mean, Conte's fit, Conte's playing, so that's got to happen. Jorginho, I don't know how much he has left in the tank, let alone how long he's gonna still be here in after this year. Kovacic, Thomas Tuchel loves Kovacic, so that's always great to have him in there. But you can't say no to having Frankie De Jong or Declan Rice. So
Well, I mean, maybe Chelsea's trying to spend money. Why not get both Declan Rice and Frankie De Jong?
oh my gosh, that would be 180 million that I don't know that we have. Speaking of Chelsea, the wild west, Todd Bowley, part owner of the Dodgers, going all over Europe, having meetings with agents and clubs from Spain to Italy, throwing his hat in every transfer under the sun. And landing Sterling and landing Koulibaly have been two, in my opinion, of the best signings this summer.
No doubt.
For a Premier League team, if outside, that guy right there. And so, what are your thoughts overall on Chelsea's summer so far?
Chelsea's had a pretty good summer so far, and it seems like their name gets thrown in with every big name in all of Europe. So I don't think they're done. They're gonna hide. They might hijack Cucurella from Man City.
Oh, wow. Breaking news here on the webcast. Fabrizio Romano reported 55 minutes ago. That is a here we go done deal.
No
Cucurella
way.
to Chelsea, 52.5 million. I don't know if there's any add-ons on that. Medical scheduled already for tomorrow morning. And the sad part for that, Levi Colwill, young prospect, I was hoping would get more game time in the preseason, but with only playing 4 games, it's hard to get him that. But he will be going in a separate transfer to Brighton. So really, we're switching one left center back, left wing back ish in Cucurella for one left center back in Levi Colwill. So we're gonna get a buyback clause, which I'm super excited about. But very interesting transfer. I know I've been checking Twitter all day today.
What do you think about Ben Chilwell?
Oh, Ben Chilwell. I mean, I've heard a lot of things about, okay, now you sign Cucurella is, that's a good competition if you're going to play left, who's going to play left wing back. But I think Cucurella is going to be left center back there. So, in a back 3, he's going to play left side of probably Thiago Silva with Koulibaly on, the right side of the back 3 and Chilwell as the left wing back. And, Chilwell got hurt last December, I think against Zenit, maybe the Champions League. And he got in that second half of the last game of the season last year, which was great to see him. Preseason, he's looked okay, but he hasn't played the last 3 preseason games. So it's interesting to see, especially with Marcus Alonso and Azpilicueta both linked as wanting to go to Barcelona, of course, because every single player Chelsea looks at wants to go to Barcelona. So it'll be interesting to see if Tuchel lets either of them go, both with 1 year left on their contract, with Chilwell kind of coming back from injury. So I don't know how he feels about that. But in my opinion,
now he's got
Chilwell. Well, yeah, exactly. But you need a left, unless you want to play Chalobah right side and then move Koulibaly over to the left side, which we saw a nice glimpse of all of that against Arsenal, where we lost 4-0 in preseason. Preseason, don't get me wrong, but
we got to think too. They want Fofana, and they are talking about Koundé.
Yeah. Oh, Koundé sealed to Barca.
Barca. Okay.
Reported by Fabrizio Romano. I've been checking Twitter all day, every day now. I'm on it.
Well, you still have Fofana.
Fofana will be interesting. I don't get that, though. I know. And I know Chelsea didn't want, from the reports, to give up Levi Colwill. But Oh man, I mean, we are the. It seems like we're the best at selling young prospected center backs and then buying someone 2 or 3 years older for 50 million. I mean, like, oh my gosh, I can't. It hurts me that we have half of Europe's center backs out there and none of them play for us.
Yeah, I mean, I
And
didn't
they're
think
all
you guys
doing
would get
pretty
rid of
well.
Christensen either.
Well, he wanted to go. That sucked as well. And with the, not being able to negotiate for the second half of the year with the sanctions probably hurt us a lot. But I mean, man, I was really sad. I personally thought he played really well when he came in for Thiago Silva in the Champions League final a couple years ago. And
yeah,
I was super excited. I think out of Chalobah, Sarr, and him, he's the best for that right side of the back three, especially with Azpilicueta looking. I think we should let him go if he wants to go. What a servant he's been to the club. He needs to, if he wants to go back to Spain, play for Barcelona, I think we should let him. But right now we can't. Well, speaking of London teams as well, Arsenal lighting preseason on fire, 4-0 over Chelsea, 6-0 over Sevilla. I mean, Gabriel Jesus looks like a whole different player
Arsenal looks really good
after joining Arsenal. So what are your thoughts overall on their transfers so far this summer?
I don't know much about Fabio Vieira. Never heard of the kid. Don't know how old he is. Don't know anything about him. But everybody seems to love him.
Yeah.
But Marquinhos, Jesus, and Zinchenko are all good players. And
yeah,
I just think they didn't find the right system, or they didn't get enough playing time. And I think they will at Arsenal. And I think they're going to be really good.
Yeah, and even with Saliba coming back from Marseille off loan, I mean, in my opinion, even with Gabriel Jesus as good as he has been so far this preseason, Saliba for me has been their outstanding player of the preseason.
Yeah,
he looks great. A young center back. That's hot. Oh, of course.
we should have got him.
Add him to the list, right?
Gosh.
So I agree. I think they've had just a fantastic summer.
I think they've got everything they needed.
Yeah.
I think that Pepe didn't work out for them.
Yeah.
Hasn't anyway, but I think he could. It's just, how long do you give somebody you paid 80 million for?
Oh my gosh, I forgot that is what they paid for him. I totally forgot.
It's hard to have somebody sit on the bench for 80 million.
Oh my gosh. You talk about Jack Grealish flopping. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, when you have Bukayo Saka, who's 19, 20 years old, and he can't get in the team over him, it's not looking good.
Yeah, Saka. I'm really excited to see how he does, especially with them in the Europa League this year.
Yeah.
All right, so that's 4 of the top 6. So now we have the big boys. So Sadio Mane, not pulling a Lewandowski, but still wanting to leave, and keeping it kind of secret. And then it seemed like in a couple weeks it all came together. Off to Bayern he went, and off to Barca Lewandowski went. So I thought that was kind of intense and strange that it kind of happened that quickly. But they bring in Darwin Núñez, 22, I think he is, from Benfica. And I don't know, to me, he looks like he's going to fit in just fine with that front three, Salah, Luis Diaz as well. So I don't see them skipping a beat, but what are your thoughts overall so far? Community Shield win as well over Manchester City last weekend.
They're going to be really tough with 5 subs.
Okay. See, that's interesting. That's where the top 5 sub comes in.
Jota and I mean, just really, they just need 1 sub. Just bring him in.
Yeah.
In the 70th minute. But who do you start in that? Who starts?
Yeah, see, that's what's interesting. I'm super excited to see first game of the season. Firmino going to start again like he did the Community Shield. Is Darwin going to start?
I mean, they have 5 forwards on that team.
Yeah. What happened to Jota?
Who do you play?
Totally forgot about him too. Yeah. That's good. Well, and the greatest question, especially for fantasy owners, who's Pep gonna play? Adding Erling Haaland, Alvarez, Phillips, already to back Premier League champion side. I feel they lost Fernandinho, Sterling. They were fine to let go. Jesus, obviously, Zinchenko as well to Arsenal. But to bring those guys in overall, what are your thoughts on their transfer so far?
My thoughts are they did what they needed to get some players off the books.
Yeah,
and they filled the gaps that they needed. Fernandinho left, they brought in Phillips. They never replaced Aguero. Well, now they finally did.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's all they really needed. I mean, they have Kyle Walker in the right back. They have João Cancelo that can play on the left. I'm sure they wanted Cucurella, but that would have fit. That would have been their left back. But João Cancelo can play anywhere on the field. So I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be just fine. They're not quite as deep, but they still.
See, that's what I was interesting. Losing all those
Foden. They
Grealish now will probably start more often.
Yeah, and Silva.
Well, he'll have to start. Yeah, Bernardo Silva. I was the beginning of the summer that rumor that Bernardo Silva was looking at Barca. Oh my goodness, I was hoping so much that he was just going to go on, but obviously that's too much to ask for them to lose that many players. All right, so overall, who do you got? Your best transfer, your best, I guess, up to this far. Out of the top 6 teams, who's had the best window to this point?
Well, that's a tough one. I'm biased towards Tottenham because we got some good players in, and we got some stuff that we needed. Mm-hmm. But if Chelsea were to get who they are potentially going to get, it wouldn't even be a question.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But
I think that. I can take that.
But I think you have to give it to Arsenal.
To Arsenal?
They got everything they needed, and it's proving. I mean, I know it's preseason, but it's proving that Jesus and Marquinhos, they're going to be really good fits there.
I've been debating this last couple of days in my head about who had the greatest transfer window so far, and I had Arsenal in that conversation for so long, but the thing that got it for me for Arsenal, and yes, I agree, they're all good players, all even borderline great players that they brought in, but none of them scare me. No? If I'm playing Arsenal on the weekend, I don't know that I'm scared of any of them. I might be scared of them as a team, the fluidity, the quickness, the stamina with how young their team is. But individually, I'm not terrified of any of them. And so for that reason, I have to give it to City. Because Haaland has been ripped already. He played one full game with City. And you can tell that the team hasn't built that chemistry enough. It looks like they're not on the same page a lot of the time. We see the same thing. Sterling with Chelsea. Watching some of those preseason games, him and Havertz will make the same exact run, just one behind the other, just because they just aren't used to playing with each other.
Right.
And Haaland did that he's had one full game against one of the best teams in Europe, the second best team in England, in Liverpool, and he still almost scored. He still should have probably scored 2, if not 3 goals. That's without chemistry and just getting started in preseason.
And he's going to break the Premier League scoring record.
Yeah, if not, and almost every single year, I feel like he's going to just do better and better. And so I am terrified of that. And that's, the team that's so stacked, you can't hold it against them for having great players in all their positions and not needing to add depth to that or add more quality to that. They got arguably the best young player in the world. And so for me, I have to go Manchester City. And so it'll be interesting to see how he does. But from there, just quick before we start going into our predictions, where we're going to break down we're going to create our 1 to 20 Premier League table for the upcoming season. Flawless. Don't even need to watch the season. Just see the predictions. We're going to get them all right. But before we do that, your best transfer window so far for the other 14.
That to me has got to be Aston Villa.
Okay.
I mean, I think Coutinho, I know they brought him in on loan last year, but they signed him this year now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's now an Aston Villa player. And I think he's going to be their X factor. I think he's gonna really change their team.
I don't know what it is with him in the Premier League, but he just loves playing here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I think Boubacar Kamara, I think he's better than people give him credit for.
Okay.
I think he's a pretty good player, and hopefully he shows it. Or else I'm gonna look stupid. But then they got Diego Carlos. And I mean, how can you deny that? I don't think they lost Matt Target, but they got so
right. So now
they replaced him last year, so they could afford to let him go. So I don't think they lost much, if anything at all. And that was my reasoning not to pick City, was because they lost too much.
I see. So the loss in depth offset the
yes.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Yeah, for me, kind of similar in terms of the depth side of things, but I have to go with Nottingham Forest.
Okay.
And one of their best signings, in my opinion, is the fact that they are one of the most historic clubs in England, and they are back in the Premier League. We saw it with Leeds a couple years ago, where being back in the Premier League for them means more than some of these other promoted teams. And their fans haven't been here in a while. And we saw Brentford last year. I mean, I'll never forget that start to the season that they had. They should have beat us. They were just
Liverpool game 1.
On fire. Yeah, right. And I got a draw there, beat Arsenal, if I'm not mistaken. And you could just see how much it meant to those fans even last year. And so that, plus you add some top players like Lingardinho. I think Jesse Lingard joining is secretly one of the best signings.
I think it's huge.
It's huge. Yeah. I mean, he didn't play much last year. He should have. I wish they would have just let him go to West Ham and let him keep that going, because when he joined West Ham 2 years ago, that on loan, that was fantastic. So to have his own team now, a permanent move, I think is going to be great for him. I think he's going to add that goal scoring. And so I think for me, it's got to be Forest. But overall, all right. So let's start picking who we think is going to get relegated, who we think is going to finish in the top 4, top 6. And so we're going to start off with Bournemouth. And so the way that this is going to work is Doug and I, we're going to each place one team in the different categories here. We have Champions League qualification, Europe positions for 5 through 6, mid-table, which is 8 through 12, the bottom half, 13 through 17, and then who is going to get relegated. And so we're going to start off. I will place Bournemouth, and welcome back to the Premier League, but back down you go.
Man, so harsh.
Yeah, I know. I just, every year I try to figure out, because it's almost like clockwork, where 2 out of the 3 teams that get promoted go automatically back down. And I think this year Bournemouth is going to be one of them. I love Scott Parker, former Fulham manager as well as player. And I love, I secretly liked Dominique Solanke back, when he was going through the Chelsea ranks, winning the youth cups, and, really starting to burst on the scene there. He was even in the squad when we won the Premier League. Who was that under? It was Jose, maybe, second time around. And but I just think Solanke was their league goal scorer last year, 29 goals, and then I don't think anyone else was even in double digits coming into the Premier League. He's still young. If they're going to be relying on him to score goals, then I think that's going to be a problem. We've seen that with Fulham as well, but we'll get to them later.
Yeah. Here's my problem
And
with
so,
Bournemouth.
yeah.
They have about the same roster as they had the last time they were in the Prem.
Yeah, and how'd that work out for them?
They still have Philip Billing. They still have, I mean, who else was a couple of their players? I don't know, but they have all basically the same players. And that's kind of the point. Nobody really knows any of them. Josh King and Callum Wilson both left.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing that kept them in the Prem, was those two scoring goals.
Yeah.
So I think they have no chance.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you agree with me on that one. So now you will be placing Brighton. Great finish, Graham Potter last year, but where will they finish after you stealing Basuma from them? Yeah. Where will they finish?
They lost Basuma. They lost Cucurella.
Yeah.
I think.
Hey, but they gained Levi Colwell. Okay.
I think they're gonna have a really tough time, and I think they're gonna be around 17 or 16.
Oh wow! So battling relegation for most of the season, or are they going to fall into it?
Most of the season, they're not going to have a great time.
Okay. All right. I can, I think they'll be a little bit higher than that personally. I think Graham Potter's too good of a manager, but loss of Basuma and now Cucurella definitely is going to hurt them.
I think with Brighton, they're all about defense because they don't have anybody really to score goals. Yeah. They haven't added a goal scorer, and they lost a main part of. I mean, they lost their midfield.
Yeah.
To me, I don't think they're going to be able to come back from that.
They can't recover from that.
No, I don't think.
I get that. See, I think they they'll perform worse than they did last year, but I think some of these other teams have actually gotten much worse than they did. But we'll get to that, I guess. I was excited when I got this one. Brentford. So for me, I've struggled with this, and I think, kind of similar. They haven't had too much activity during the window here. Last year, I feel like the start of the season, they really rode, the energy, the fans, even Ivan Toney in the beginning of the season to get some marquee wins and draws against some of the top six. So I think they will do a little bit worse this year. And I will put them in the bottom half. Don't think they'll be relegated, but I'll put them in the bottom half.
I would have to agree. I think they brought in Christian Eriksen halfway through last season, and he made a big difference for them with the creativity. Well, now he's gone, and so they still don't have that creativity, and they don't have the newly promoted high that they had last season. So I agree. They added Ben Mee from Burnley to help.
I really like that signing.
I don't think it's going to be enough to really. I mean, I think it may be enough to keep them out of relegation. But that's
I think defensively that helps a lot. And to have Ben Mee with his experience in there, and someone who's battled relegation before,
his whole
will
career.
be good to. All right, so then from good old Brentford to Mr. Frank Lampard and Everton, that is going to be yours. So where will Everton finish after escaping relegation last season?
Yeah. I mean, how many years has it been? They've never been relegated. Is that correct?
60. Yeah, they've never been relegated from the first division.
Yeah.
That's to my understanding.
Impressive.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
And
they're too.
I think, at some point they're going to have to get relegated. But I don't
my gosh.
But I don't think I think they're going to be a mid-table. I don't think that they can have as much talent on that team as they do and not win more games this year. Last year, I think they just could not get it. Something was going on and they couldn't figure it out. But I think Everton's going to come back and be more like Everton
Okay.
this year.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm not saying
I
a
heard.
resurgence from Dele Alli or anything,
Oh
but
no! You
but
see,
I'm
I don't know if
saying
you
I
saw
think.
that miss from the
Oh
inside
my
the six.
gosh! Yeah,
Yeah,
clearly it's not going to be his year again.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I do think that they're going to start figuring it out. I think Dwight McNeil is a much better player than he showed at Burnley because Burnley was so bad.
But yeah,
I think Dwight McNeil is going to be he's going to be the star of that team. I think now that Richarlison's gone.
I love to see it, especially with. I think the news broke today that Dominic Calvert-Lewin will be missing some part of the start of the season with a freak training injury today. So that's going to be interesting to see how that works out for him. But all right, mid-table. Okay, cool. So now for me,
I think losing Richarlison's going to be a big deal for them, but I don't think it's. I think replacing him with Dwight McNeil, they're not the same style of player, but I think McNeil's just going to create so many more chances.
Oh, that's big statements. Wow. Big predictions here on the webcast. Richarlison saving Everton from relegation last year.
Yes.
And you think they're going to finish higher without him?
I do. I think because now that they have a full offseason of Lampard and not going from manager to manager, I think they're going to figure it out. Not having the stress of relegation.
Yeah.
Now it's a fresh start. They don't have to worry about that. You know?
Okay.
Everybody's in the relegation zone or everybody could be champions. You don't know.
True. That's the beauty of it. Thank you, Leicester 2016, for proving that point.
Exactly.
Speaking of former Everton managers, I have Fulham next with Marco Silva in charge, bringing Fulham back to the Premier League to continue their streak of relegated, promoted, and I will have to sadly add to that trend and put them in relegation. I think they're the two teams. I can't go against Forest, so I got to go against Fulham. The two teams that are going to get promoted and then relegated this year, it's going to be Fulham. I love Mitrovic. I love his celebration. I think it was the greatest addition to FIFA of all time.
Yes, it was.
46 goals last season in the championship. Absolutely. Oh, no, sorry. 43 goals in the championship last season. Absolutely fantastic. But I don't know why he can't recreate that all the time in the Premier League.
He really
scored. Yeah, he scored 40% or thereabout of Fulham's goals last year in the championship. And I just think that they just won't have enough to escape relegation this year.
Yeah, my thoughts on Mitrovic is he is a really big bully, when he gets into the box. And I think in the championship, he can get away with that and he can really bully people. But then he comes up to the Prem and he can no longer bully these people like he could. So he's not fast. He's not going to outrun everybody. And he's also he's not as skilled as Kane. So, because Kane's not that fast either, but Kane can do a lot more than Mitrovic can with the ball.
Drop back into the midfield and play as well when he needs to.
So that's why. But I think Andreas Pereira.
Yeah, I do love that as well.
I think
to get him more game time as well.
Mitrovic are going to play well off each other because Pereira does have that speed. But they got Bernd Leno in goal, so they're going to give up 6 goals a game.
Yeah, that was interesting. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. So from Fulham, we go to last year's relegation escape artists. After bringing in Jesse March, and now as clockwork, wherever Jesse March goes, Brendan Harrison follows. And they've also signed the other American, Tyler Adams. So for you, Doug, where are you going to have Leeds United finishing this season?
Leeds, they lost Calvin Phillips.
Yep.
But I think Tyler Adams is awesome.
I am glad you said that 3 months away from the World Cup.
So I don't know how much. I mean, they're going to miss Calvin Phillips. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a regular starter in England's team.
Yeah.
He's a really good player. City obviously got him for a reason. But I think Tyler Adams is going to fill that void. But I do not think that they can get over losing Rafinha.
Okay.
But I don't think it's enough to relegate.
Wow, they escape again.
I think
Right?
that Bamford being healthy now, I
Yeah.
think that he'll be able to score some goals. He was out a lot last year.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what led to Rafinha shining so much, was because he was the only player on the field that was doing anything.
Yeah. I think that also hurt. But yeah, I think that, I mean, losing Bamford was just such a big thing to lose
in their team, you know?
Yeah. Especially in that system that, that fast flying system that they played to start the season before Jesse March came in. And yeah, I agree. All right. So Leeds in the bottom half. We are running out of spots in the bottom half. So I have Crystal Palace. And I love Patrick Vieira. I absolutely love him. I think it's so sad that Arteta is sitting in North London and Patrick Vieira is at Crystal Palace. I think he's absolutely fantastic. I think the loss of Conor Gallagher for them, him returning to Chelsea is pretty rough. They got another. I'd love to see it. Another U.S. international coming in Richards from Bayern. So that's fantastic. They already have one of the best defenses in the Premier League. Only 46 goals against last season. Patrick Vieira, I think, is going to just keep on improving. So I have them as mid-table, and
yeah, I would agree.
I'm super excited to watch them.
I would have to agree with that.
Great.
I think that they're going to be a really good team. Eze last year was hurt quite a bit, and he's that number 10 that they need now that Gallagher's gone.
Mm-hmm.
He's still not proven yet. He's been in and out of the team with injuries. He's had, his form's been up and down. I think he can do it. And with him and Zaha, and who was that guy Edouard?
Yeah,
he's that striker. Him. He's that striker they needed, because
Benteke 2.0.
He was not the one. So I think that's kind of what they need, and I think they're going to be a really good team. I think they're going to be one of those teams that you don't want to go play them.
Yeah,
at home.
Yeah, as always. Yeah,
I mean, you're not going to want to do that.
Another team that's kind of proving the same kind of thing now under Eddie Howe and new Saudi Arabia ownership. Newcastle, always trying to bring in new players, but where will they finish this season?
Newcastle's tough.
They're so tough. I don't know what I can't put my thumb on how I feel. I love Trippier, though. I love that signing.
Yeah.
Secretly hoping.
And Target, I think Target's a good signing for him.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a hard time putting them in the relegation, because I think somebody else is going to get relegated.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't put them there myself. No way.
Yeah, they have to be bottom half for me. But
bottom half? All right. I had them higher in mine.
You think so?
Personally, I don't know. I just think that the way that they're going, the energy that they have, and I hope it doesn't wear off, but I think they'll finish mid-table. But
you think so? I can be persuaded on this one. This one's tough.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It's really tough. You have final decision. This is your pick. So
I really like Saint Maximin.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's fantastic. I think Joel
more
Linton,
creative.
I think he can play better than he has been. Brendan Fraser, or not Brendan Fraser. What's his name? Ryan Fraser.
Oh, Ryan Fraser. Yeah.
Yeah. I can go with mid-table.
Mid-table. Yeah, see, I like
I can
that.
see them mid-table.
Great. I love it. Yeah, see another thing too, because now we only have 2 spots left in this bottom half and 1 left in relegation. So someone needs to go down, and I don't know who that's going to be.
I do.
All right. I got Leicester next, the team without a goalkeeper, as Schmeichel just confirmed his move to France. They haven't signed a replacement. I don't
If
know
you would
what
have
they're going
asked
to
me
do.
who's the worst window, it's
Yeah.
by far Leicester because they've brought in nobody and lost their goalkeeper.
Yep. And now they might lose, as you said. I don't think they'll lose Fofana, but they could lose Fofana. James Madison's been wanting out for 2 years now.
And Tottenham wants him.
Yeah. Brendan Rodgers said that Tillemans isn't even that good, so I don't know if he'll be here around much longer.
Nonsense.
Yeah, especially for the guy who can hit a 40-yard winner in the FA Cup final, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
For me, I think they will definitely be taking a step backwards this year, but I cannot see them being relegated under Brendan Rodgers. So I have to, I'll put them in the bottom half, probably the upper part of the bottom half, but the bottom half. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know what they're going to do about a goalkeeper, but I'm sure they'll figure something out. They have to.
Yep. Speaking about figuring things out, we got Southampton next. They are kind of similar to Newcastle for me. I love James Ward-Prowse. I love his celebration, but I could not figure out how I feel about their transfer window and how I feel about them overall. So what are your thoughts, and where are they going to finish this year?
For me, this is my 3rd relegation.
Oh my gosh, Southampton going down.
It's, to me, I think Ward-Prowse is going to leave. I think he has to.
By the end of this window?
I think
the end of this window?
I think somebody should pick him up.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe they won't, but I think he's going to leave.
Well, he'll definitely leave at the end of the season if they get relegated.
That's for
sure. You that.
But yes, I don't think they're very good.
Okay.
I don't think ever since they lost Danny Ings, they can't score like they used to.
Yeah.
James Ward-Prowse has his best season last year, and it's because he had to score goals, and he didn't score that many.
Yeah.
But he had his best season he's had.
Yeah. Because
they lost Danny Ings.
Yeah. That was a shocker to me.
Yes.
Another pickup for Villa.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, there you go. That completes our first section, which is relegation. Bournemouth, Fulham, and Southampton going down. So that means newly promoted 2-time European Cup winners Nottingham Forest will be back in the Premier League next season or the following season. And this upcoming season, I have them finishing in the bottom half. I think those signings, as well as the energy that they're going to get to start the season, is going to put them a little bit above that to start the season. And then I think over time they'll start to fall back down, but I don't think they'll be in a relegation fight most of the season. And I think they'll finish, maybe around 15th, 16th, maybe.
Yeah, I agree.
And be nice and comfortable for the following season. So that leaves us with one more spot. No, that completes the bottom half. And so that leaves us two spots in mid-table, and then the top 7, all the European places. So for you, where are you going to have Wolves? Super defensive last year, just could never score a goal.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be more of the same. But I think that they're good enough to not get scored on. Every time they play Man City, they scare them. Every single time they play Man City, they scare them because they're a good team. And I think at some point they're going to put it all together. But I think they're going to stay mid-table this year, be probably, 10, 11, 12.
Okay. Yeah, I think that, I mean, just purely because they're such a solid team and a hard team to break down, that's going to help them and keep them up. I guess you kind of had to put them mid-table unless you thought that they're going to fight for Europe this year.
No, definitely not.
But so we have 8 teams left, 1 mid-table spot, and the rest are European teams. So before we go
quick.
in,
What do we think about our thoughts
Oh,
on
wow.
Adama Traore admitting doing steroids? Did you know that?
I don't.
Did you know that? Is this breaking news?
Is this breaking news on the
Is
webcast?
Is this Fabrizio Romano? Here we go.
Oh my gosh. I think that everyone secretly thinks that. And I don't care because he's great to watch. And I think he started his Barcelona career with 4 straight 4 games, 4 assists or something ridiculous like that. So I love him. I'm sad that he's on the Premier League. I didn't want him to join a top 6 team. I didn't, Chelsea was linked with him for a little bit there, but I didn't want him to do that. I love to watch him. So that's thanks for the comment there. So before we go into kind of who we're going to finish here in either, we got 1 spot left in mid-table and the rest of the European spots. What are your thoughts on who's going to win the Golden Boot?
Kane's looked really good in preseason, and I know he has his August issues, but I think that's behind him. I think that's a young Kane thing. I think he's figured it out.
27 and younger, right?
Yes. I think it's going to be Kane.
Kane, okay. Is he going to crack 30?
I think he's going to shoot his. I think he's going to score his age. He's going to get 27.
27.
Or 20. Sorry, 28. He's
28. Yeah.
And I think Haaland is going to be right there with him the entire year, but I don't think Haaland's going to do it.
No. Okay.
I think Kane has something to prove. I think he wants to go to Bayern, and he wants Bayern to pay big money for him.
So Bayern hold out 1 year and then sign him next year.
I think so.
Well, is Conte still the manager there? Because I don't know that he'll let him leave.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah. I think it also will depend too on where you're going to have them ranked here shortly. We'll see. For me, I have it between the 2 best players in the Premier League that are also not going to the World Cup, and that's Salah and Haaland. I think Salah, new contract boy, locked in with, Mane leaving. I think, and trying to get Darwin Núñez up to speed. I think he's going to start. He starts off against Fulham as well. So he can just book a first half double hat trick there. And then he's going to ride that out. So I was debating between both of them most of the season. I think Salah's going to start fast, but I think Haaland's going to finish in a absolute tear. Especially, I don't think City's going to start as well. And so they're going to be needing the points, and they just know how to win leagues. So I got Haaland just edging it. And I think I agree. It's so hard to say. I think honestly, Haaland and Salah both break 30 this year. I think it's going to be
you
prolific.
Bring up a really, really good point that neither of them are in the World Cup, and Kane is going to be. Yeah,
and Kane, he's going to get hurt. I'm sorry
Probably.
to say. He's going to get hurt.
His weak ankle. Do we know, is South Korea in the World Cup? Because
yes, if I'm not mistaken.
I was going to say, if he's not, maybe Son can do back-to-back.
Oh yeah. I think they qualified, if I'm not mistaken. I
think
believe
so.
They qualified.
But either way, I think you're right. I think it's going to be Salah and Haaland are going to really tear it up this year. But I think Kane is going to pull it out.
Yep. Ooh.
He's went too many years without one.
Yeah, and he loves to win that. I remember him claiming
the Golden Boot.
claiming that goal where it bounced off Christian Eriksen's goal that like nicked the top of his back or something. Yep. And they appealed so that he would get credit for it. South Korea in Group H with Portugal, Ghana, and Uruguay. So I would assume that Son will be back after a week.
Good luck.
All right. So we got Holland, we got Kane. Our golden boot predictions there. And now we move into the fun part. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to take West Ham. Fear the bubbles.
Yes.
Declan Rice. So sad to see Mark Noble finally retire. What a legend. I know it's not on the same level, and I'm not comparing it to Totti, but the fact that he stayed so long with one club is absolutely incredible.
That just doesn't happen.
It just doesn't happen anymore, and I think it's so fantastic that he did that. And for me, I'm going to have to put them, though. I think they'll finish closer to 8, but I'm going to have them mid-table. Yeah, I think they're going to be fantastic. They're not going to be a team you want to play. But I do think the addition of the Conference League, for however long they're in that one, is going to hurt them a little bit. And I think that's going to allow them to just miss out on another European finish. So that leaves the final 7 here. And so for you, we will give you Aston Villa. Where will Aston Villa under Stevie G for a full season finish? And that's 5, 6, or 7. All right. So 5 is going to be on the far left, and then 7 is going to be on the far right as we go through this. So for you right now, are you picking closer, 5, 6, or 7 for Villa to finish?
They are my number 6.
Number 6. Wow. Okay. So one of the top 6 are going to finish out. Okay.
And I think Aston Villa is going to be a thorn in every opposing team's side.
Okay. I mean, there's got to be a pathway for him to get to the Liverpool job. So the only way he's going to do that is if he performs well. So
that's all he cares about. And he's going to get it.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, man. I'd love to see it. Especially for how well he did with Rangers, winning the title after not winning it for over 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. Celtic went on a tear. So, I'd love to see it. All right. So that leaves our top 6. And 6th position is Aston Villa. So one of them is going to be finishing 7th. So for me, I will be taking... do I want to take Tottenham from you so you can't rank them? I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Tottenham. Okay. And Tottenham, for me, I mean, never forget what Conte did, first year with Chelsea, 5 games in, changes the whole formation after a loss to Arsenal, and then goes on a 13-game win streak to win the title. He is one of the best managers in the world, without a doubt. He's getting his signings in. I am not totally sold on that back 3, just the quality that's in that back 3.
Not even close.
But I think
what we need.
But I think under Conte, it's going to be good. And so for that reason, I want to put them 3rd.
3rd.
Yep. Champions League qualification, and I'm going to put them 3rd. Who you take into place here? 5 teams left. Who are you placing?
Oh, I got to take Chelsea from you.
All right. Where will Chelsea finish?
This may be different if Chelsea gets all of their players.
Okay. Well, do you think we'll be signing more players than
I'm not sure.
We have so far?
I'm just not sure. You guys have been linked with every single player that's been available.
That is true. And the ones that haven't.
And yes, exactly. So I'm going to put them at 4th.
4th again? Okay.
I think.
Well, top 4, but 3rd.
Yeah, I think they're going to be 4th.
Okay. I'm happy with that, to be honest, just with the start that we've had. I mean, personally speaking, same kind of confidence that I have in Conte to kind of get the defense sorted out. with us, we're bringing in some good quality players. We obviously have lost Rudiger and Christensen and probably Azpilicueta, most likely Alonso. Sarr probably is going to go out either on loan or be sold. And then Chalobah, I just think is not ready yet. So we'll have a lot of meshing to be done. Lukaku's gone. Sterling coming in, I think, is going to be good, I hope.
Don't get me wrong. I was teetering on
Yeah,
having them fit.
Yeah, to be honest, the last, exclude Liverpool and City, and I was having issues with this, and now I have Arsenal, City, Liverpool, and United, and I got to put one of them 7th.
Well,
oh my goodness, who am I going to put
me.
7th? Easy for you. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, okay. Well, I got to put United 7th.
There it is.
Yeah, I had to do it. I think Eric Ten Hag's gonna do great eventually. This whole Ronaldo saga has been absolutely ridiculous.
Yes.
He played 45 minutes. Yeah, that's just a mess. He kind of almost hoped that he would have just joined City last year when there was that 5-second rumor that was going to happen. Maybe the City wouldn't have gotten Haaland and Ronaldo would be gone by now. But I don't know. I think Rashford, Sancho are all going to have better seasons than they've had. I'm really excited to see Van der Beek come back into the fold with his former manager actually pulling the strings. If they get Frankie de Jong, though, I think that they go much higher than 7th just because he's such an important piece in that system and did wonders with Ajax.
Frankly, I don't know who they're going to play.
Yeah.
They have Eriksen.
Yeah. And how many games is he going to play?
Yeah, and they have Van de Beek.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what formation will they play? Because McFred
doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
McFred doesn't work.
And so you can't put Van de Beek and Eriksen back there because Bruno Fernandes is number 10.
Yeah.
So you can't. I don't think their midfield.
I think Fred has to play.
Fred has to play, but you need De Jong with him.
Yeah, that would be perfect. That would be. And you can slot in Eriksen when you need to, especially when you're going against low block teams. Just kind of pick a pass.
That's what I mean. You have 5 subs now, so to do that type of stuff, you can change your game. But
yeah,
I'm not sure. And they lost Greenwood to his allegations. So
yeah,
that's pretty rough. I don't think they're going to do very well.
Okay. Yeah. So you agree with 7th, which means unless you are taking Arsenal to challenge here, they will be going 5th.
Arsenal will be 5th.
Will be 5th.
And
just missing out.
It's going to be a tight race all year between these 3 teams.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm nervous about that. Just with the pace that Arsenal's starting off with, I think the chemistry, the fluidity that they play with, they've gotten 6, I think, preseason games under their belt already, which is absolutely fantastic. They're all young, the youngest team in the Premier League.
They play well together.
See, that's the thing that also from this preseason, they've played so well, but I don't know, excuse me, how many more levels there are to them. Is Jesus going to be getting over 20 goals? I don't know if he has it in him.
I think he may hit 20 goals.
20? Wow. Yeah, see, that's Salah and Son, 22 last year? 23?
Yeah. I think
that's why
he's their missing piece.
Yeah. But the thing is for me, what about Aubameyang? Aubameyang way more highly rated when he came in than Jesus is currently, in my opinion. And granted, they won an FA Cup. Great. But they still didn't finish in the top 4.
No.
And so...
I think they have a better team than when they had Aubameyang.
Overall?
Yes, just as a whole. I think they have a much better team. I think they're going to possess the ball a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to be sitting back as much and then playing the counter. I think they're going to be more possession.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Get that PEP system.
I think so.
Start implement it at Arsenal.
I think
all right.
They have to.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else they're going to do. So before we go ahead and do the final two here, as either second or the champions, who is going to be your player of the season?
My player of the season, just about almost every season, is going to be Kevin De Bruyne.
Wow, I
because
love it.
he's the best player in the Premier League,
So,
and I think it's not even close. And now that he
so
has a
even
goal
with,
scorer, he's going to have 37 assists this year. I mean, I think he's going to be so good with this team they have.
yeah, I think, I mean, him and Bernardo Silva are going to have a field day with this team.
Yes.
And I actually totally agree with you. Despite Salah and Haaland for me going over 30, I think Kevin De Bruyne scoring over 15 himself and over 15 assists is gonna get him player of the season. And having said that, does that mean that we both have Manchester City as the first team to three-peat since United did?
No.
Oh my goodness, you have Liverpool taking it. Oh my goodness.
This is so tough.
It's so tough. I think what, 2 points separate them over the course of the last 4 years combined, or something ridiculous like that.
It's so close.
Yeah.
The only reason I would even think Liverpool is because they have 4 goal scorers on their team, like goal scorers.
Yeah.
And 2 of them are going to, they have Firmino that can come off the bench. They have Jota who's going to come off the bench. And City have Haaland. Now,
yeah, but he has a left foot and a right foot and a head. That's 3 goal scorers right there.
I know. They have Foden, they have Grealish, they have Mahrez.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued
none of
to see
them
how
are
Grealish
really
does.
proven just goal scorers. And they both have really great defenses, but Liverpool has the best defense. And so
hey, Chelsea's coming, okay?
No, they lost Rudiger, their best defender.
Koulibaly, okay, thank you.
Yeah, he's great. He is great.
Sorry. So you have Liverpool.
I think it's going to be Liverpool by a point.
You've in this argument, I've been debating this, and the reason why I've been debating this is because of how I think City's going to start. I don't think they're going to start as well. It's just whether or not they can pick up the points, even if they're not playing well. If they can pick up the points when they're not playing well, then I think it's just they're just going to be too good.
It's these teams right here that they have to make sure they need to get wins.
Yeah, but if you think, and Liverpool just have so many ways of getting a goal. But if I had to bet on one player to score in the 90th minute, tied 0-0 away to Palace, I mean, I'm taking Haaland over any of those people.
I am too, especially when he has De Bruyne kicking it to him.
Yeah.
It's so tough.
But
when you have 4 goal scorers and you have Trent Alexander-Arnold,
playing in crosses.
You don't even need. They have 5 defenders on their team because their midfield just sits back.
Yeah. All right, so put it on there. Who do you guys champions?
I got Liverpool.
And that puts City in second. All right, and there it is, our 1 through 20 predictions. That's great. And so now we're
Tottenham at third.
I've debated it a lot. I debated it so much. I was back and forth, just like you said. So
I think
long.
These 3 teams are going to have 5 points in between them. I mean, I think it's going to be so close.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was so close last year.
Yeah. It wasn't
too far off.
As close as we wanted it to be.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Doug. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to our first episode, our first live episode here on the webcast, All Sports One Web. Come back next Wednesday where we will do a review show of the first week of the Premier League season and look towards game week 2. Thank you all. Have a good night.
See you guys.